What's going on? Ryan Nolting here, ranking albums week of Van Halen. Van Halen, one of my favorite bands. So Van Halen is founded by Eddie Van Halen and his brother Alex. Okay, so they come over to the United States from Holland with their family, with their parents in about 1962. Moved to the Los Angeles area, Pasadena. The father was a musician. In fact, the father on the boat over from Holland played music on the boat the entire time. It took a week, made money starting bands and on the boat. The Van Halen brothers live in Pasadena. They start taking piano lessons. The area piano contest annual. Eddie wins that like 4 years in a row. There's like 1,000 entries into this competition. Eddie wins every year, and he can't read music. It's all from memory and just memorizing Bach, memorizing Beethoven, right? By ear. His brother, by the way, comes in like 10th place in the piano competition, but Eddie wins it every year from 5 to 68 or whatever. Anyway, in 72, they formed the band. Michael Anthony on bass, David Lee Roth on lead vocals, Eddie on guitar, Alex on drums. They put out several albums together before David Lee Roth quits. Sammy Hagar joins. They do 4 albums. Sammy ends up getting basically kicked out of the band. And they do 1 album with Gary Sharon. And then David Lee Roth rejoins in 2007, and they stay together till 2015 with David Lee Roth. Anyway, we're going to rank the albums, and we are going to start off with my least favorite all the way to my favorite record. My least favorite record is, of course, their one with Gary Sharon. This album, Van Halen 3, is the 11th album in the catalog. It comes out in March of 98. Sammy's been kicked out. They pick up Gary Sharon. Gary Sharon will even tell you, hey, we should have went on tour first. We should have learned how to gel as a band first before this thing comes out. And by the way, I want to say this. If you ever get a weak moment and you think that you need to listen to this record, I want you to reach out to me. Email me. Call me, text me, and I will walk you off that ledge. Don't listen to this record. Do yourself a favor. Even if you have a weak moment, don't listen to this record. Opens up with an instrumental called New World. My comments are why. The second song, Without You, was the one that did a video for. Is it the best song on the record? I give it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. It's not good. The band sounds lost here. Even when you think it's going to get hooky, the hook doesn't work. The third song, the one I want, I mean, the solo's kind of cool, but it's got a weak hook, and they keep repeating over and over again a weak hook until you have to either succumb to it or just turn it off. It's horrible. From After is the next song. It's the worst song in the Van Halen catalog. It's a 1.5 out of 5 star song. It is the weakest song. Where's the quality control on this record? Who's the person at this point in 1998, 1997, 98 said, listen, guys, you can't really even release this album? Once is kind of interesting. 2.75 out of 5. It's kind of almost sounds like Genesis with the keyboards. It's the vocals are actually kind of creepy. I don't know, but it's a high point on this record at 2.75. Fire in the Hole, right? I mean, what kind of middle schooler is writing Fire in the Hole? I mean, I'm not buying it. It's okay. I have a note here. Razor blade smoothie for breakfast, Gary? I mean, it's rough, dude. Josephine. I mean, kind of a nice vocal. It's a 2 out of 5 star song. It's not a Van Halen song. It just doesn't sound like Van Halen. It's acoustic. It's really rough. Year to the Day. My notes for Year of the Day is 2 minutes of unlistenable opener and then 6 minutes of shit. You know, it's an 8-minute song, 8.5-minute song. We don't. All these songs are long, by the way. There's not a 3.5-minute song in this record. They're all 5 and 6 and 7 minutes, and it's crappy. Primary is another instrumental, just nonsense from beginning to end. Ballad of the Bullet. Ballad of the Bullet's kind of a cool song. It's the best song in this record. In fact, let's celebrate what's good about this record. Listen to Ballad of the Bullet. It's all you really need to do on here. Again, if you have a weak moment, you want to listen to this record, give me a text or an email. How May I Say is the song that Eddie actually sings lead vocal on. I mean, they're having fun on that song, and Gary's singing backup, but it is weak. Here's some more notes. I mean, it's an assault on the eardrums. Limp riffs, shrieking vocals, directionless melodies, loud but ballless, hookless, disjointed, and they have not yet created a drug that makes this album sound good. The next one on my list is OU812, Sammy Hagar's second record with the band. This thing comes out in May of '88. It's their 8th record. Mine All Mine. The write out after the 4-minute and 25-second mark is awesome. Keyboards and guitar. When It's Love. You know, more keyboard Van Halen stuff. How many songs are we going to sing about love? You know, Sammy likes to do that. But it was a hit. It was okay. AFU, a 3-star song. By the way, Mine All Mine's 4 out of 5. When It's Love is 3.5 out of 5. AFU is 3 out of 5. Cabo Wabo. Great harmonies, right? Michael Anthony, the bass player, is a good bass player, but he's a great harmony singer. He could have been a lead singer in any band he wanted to be in, and when he sings with Eddie also singing and Sammy, and of course with David Lee Roth, it's killer. Cabo Wabo is fun. It's a 3.75 song. Flip the album over, and you have Source of Infection. It's a solid song. Feels So Good. As good as the Van Halen Hagar catalog gets, or Van Hagar, Feels So Good is maybe the best song. I give that a 4.25 out of 5. It's great, and you do feel so good listening to it. Finish What You Started. Some people don't like Finish What You Started, that country twang thing, and Remember the Video. I love that song. I'm going to give that a 4.25 too. Maybe, I'm going to give it a 4.5. I love Finish What You Started. Again, Sammy's talking about sex. That's all Sammy likes to sing about. And guess what? Why not? Come on, baby, finish what you started. That ain't no way to treat the brokenhearted. I need some sympathy. Black and Blue, strong. Strong, but 3.75 out of 5. Give it to me. Black and Blue, baby. And then Sucker in a 3-piece suit. Doesn't need to be here necessarily. It doesn't really add a lot. This album's produced by Don Landy. It's a good record, but it comes in as my second least favorite record. 5150, the debut of the Sammy era. Okay, this thing comes out in '86. David Lee Roth off doing his own thing, which was pretty successful. This is the 7th record in their catalog. This thing's produced by Mick Jones and Don Landy. Mick Jones is the guitar player of Foreigner. He's been successful with that band, and Eddie wants some of that. This album is called 5150 because it's recorded in Eddie's house studio, which is a converted racquetball court called 5150. Good Enough is the first song. Great song. Hello, baby. That's how it starts out. It's fresh. It's USD Prime, right? Good enough to eat. He's talking about sex again, right? 3.5 out of 5. Why Can't This Be Love was the big hit lead single of the album. 4 out of 5. You know, God, it's so different than the David Lee Roth stuff, but it's good. Get Up. It's fast. I'm not really digging Sammy on that song. 3 out of 5. Dreams. Dreams is the only 5 out of 5 star classic for me in the Sammy Hagar era. Dreams is great. Remember the video with the Blue Angel planes and you know, that's what dreams are made of. I mean, God, it takes you back to high school, doesn't it? Summer nights. Talk about nostalgia and taking you back to high school. Summer nights in the radio. The hook is better than the verse. I only give that a 3.5 star because, I mean, Summer Nights hook is good, but it's kind of weak otherwise. Best of Both Worlds, another solid as hell song. Give me the best of both worlds. 4 out of 5. Crunchy guitars, nice melody on that. Love Walks In. You know, some of Sammy's best lyrics here, you know. Contact is all it takes to change your life and lose your place in time. I mean, pretty cool. 5150 has an inspiring chorus. It's a 4 out of 5. By the way, Best of Both Worlds, 4 out of 5. Love Walks In, 4 out of 5. 5150, 4 out of 5. And then Inside, a little bit of a shrieky vocal. It's not that good. It's 2.5 out of 5. My next favorite, Van Halen, is the last one that they do with Sammy Hagar. This thing comes out in January of 95. So grunge is taking over the landscape of rock. You know, the hair metal bands and the hard rock bands are extinct dinosaurs. Almost overnight when Nirvana comes out, when Pearl Jam comes out, when people call Soundgarden and Alice in Chains grunge, even though it's just heavy metal. Okay? It's heavy metal, people. It's not grunge. But they lump those two bands in, and those bands, the Motley Crues, the Poisons, the Whitesnakes, are gone, distinct dinosaurs. But Van Halen survives. And this is a great album. The Seventh Seal is killer. Just a menacing, searing, heavy song. We want our Van Halen to be menacing, right? Have an attitude, something dangerous. You know, I had to listen to this record again today because yesterday when I listened to this record, Can't Stop Loving You, I had written Sellout. You know, they're going for a hit. But I listened to the entire record again today because my buddy Mike Jones last night in a 2-hour conversation said, Ryan, listen to this record again. I did. You know, it's a good song. It's a hit for them at this point. And it's pretty good. I give it a 3.75. Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do. It's a 4.5 star song out of 5. Boy, I've seen the damage done. Oh, and the shotgun. And the sentence. I mean, the scream. It's. They took chances on this record. They took chances on this record that they don't take on any other record. This thing is got 12 songs, and there's just solid material. Amsterdam. And by the way, is Don't Tell Me Like What Love Can Do the best Sammy era song? Amsterdam's solid. King Edward. By the way, the king of rock and roll is bowing down to the King Edward, right? Gosh, I love it. Big Fat Money, huh? Eddie's on point. It's a ball-busting song. 3.5 out of 5. Amsterdam's a 4 out of 5. Strung out instrumental. Eddie's playing prepared piano. What is prepared piano? It's when you open up a grand piano and you get the strings. Maybe you hit those strings with a fork or a knife or bounce ping pong balls off the strings. It's an interesting piece. It's a 3.5 out of 5. Not Enough. Whew. Not Enough is, it's kind of like riding a moped. You know, it's kind of cool, but you don't really want your friends to see you liking it. Shoot. Aftershock, killer. 4 out of 5. Doing Time is another instrumental. It's almost like a drum solo. It's killer too. 3.75. Balacharithium is another instrumental, but God, this one is creative. Eddie's giving you everything and the kitchen sink here. 3.75. Take Me Back. Give me a margarita. I'll go down to Cabo. I'll drink several of those bad boys listening to a song like Take Me Back. And it closes up with Feelin'. Man, it sounds honest to me. You know, they do a lot of ballads with Sammy, but this one feels honest to me. It's almost a great song. It's a 4 out of 5. Not black is no black is white and white is black. You got politicians smoking crack, and John Paul's all bulletproofed. I mean, it's an interesting song. One of the best with Sammy. The next record is For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. People call this the fuck album. The 9th record in the studio. Comes out June of 91. I've just graduated high school in 91. Pound Cake. You can laugh about Pound Cake all you want. It starts off with Eddie taking a drill into the pickups of his guitar and getting that squeal. I love my baby's pound cake. Well, there's not a lot left for the imagination there, is there? But you know what? 30 years later, this thing holds up. Pound cake is killer. Straight to the point. I love my baby's pound cake. She's homegrown and down home. Come on. Judgment Day. By the way, pound cake gets 4.5 out of 5. Judgment Day gets 4. It's a tough rocker. Spanked. Spanked is not as good. I got blah, 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 blah on that one. 3 out of 5. Run Around. They did a video, I think, for Run Around hitting their stride after a bad song like Spanked. 4 out of 5. Pleasure Dome. Huh. Some of the heaviest interplay in the Sammy era. It almost gets into Prime Rush territory for me. Pleasure Dome is killer. In and Out. 3.75. Drums and bass on that, you know. In and Out, high energy and solid as a rock. Man on a Mission, not really feeling that one. 3 out of 5. The Dream Is Over. Eddie puts it on a platter for Sammy to knock that one out. Eddie's music is so good. Sammy, maybe not always the best on delivering the lyrics, but he delivers the goods on Right Now, right? Right now, till tomorrow, means everything. It's a classic. It's probably, for me, the second best. I don't know. Dreams is great. This is a great song. Listen to the song Right Now off the For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge album. It's really cool. An instrumental called 316. By the way, I'm giving Right Now a 4.5. I'm giving the instrumental 316 a 4.5. It's beautiful. It's emotional. And then Top of the World kicks ass. 4.25 out of 5. Some of Sammy's best. Andy Johns produces this one. We're getting into some Prime stuff here, folks. The next one on my list is 1984. This thing comes out in January of 1984. It's their 6th album. It's the last album that David Lee Roth does before he leaves. It's produced by Ted Templeton. It's the first album done at 5150 Studios. It opens up with a 4-star instrumental called 1984. You know, it's good for what it is. It's signifying the beginning of a lot of keyboards on the Van Halen catalog. Some people might say too much keyboards, but 1984 goes into a song called Jump. My dad ended up liking Jump, okay? My dad doesn't like Van Halen, but he was walking around the house singing Jump. That's how overground that song makes this band. They're the biggest band in the world. This thing, I believe, doesn't go to number 1 because I think it might be behind. I want to say that Thriller by Michael Jackson keeps it out of the number 1 slot. It stays at number 2. 4.25 for Jump. You know, Jump's okay. Panama, 5 out of 5 Van Halen classic. Top Jimmy, 4 out of 5. You know, harmonics opening, the tapping harmonic thing that he does. It's a Drop Dead Legs. You know, a lot of people love that song. I don't really like that song that much. 3.75. Kind of sounds tired. You know, they're running out of ideas with David maybe here. Hot for Teacher, though, brings it back as you flip the album over. And I had this on the album. Hot for Teacher's killer. The video, if you remember the video. Watch the video on YouTube of Hot for Teacher. It's so fun. I brought my pencil. Give me something to write on, man. Yeah. The drums on Hot for Teacher, killer. I'll Wait. What a great, killer, modern sounding song that I'll Wait was. I'll Wait may have been the first single off the record. I mean, I think Jump was, then I'll Wait, then Panama, then Hot for Teacher, right? Back when bands had releases and singles. I'll Wait is killer, 4.25 out of 5. Girl Gone Bad. Alex Van Halen is a freaking beast. 4.5. Girl Gone Bad is amazing. In House of Pain. I know people love that song. Have they run their course? Have they said everything that they need to say by this time? Is it smart for David Lee Roth to leave at this point? You know, how many times can you sing about a girl gone bad and High School Blues? Good album though. 1984. The next one for me is Diver Down. So this is the album before 1984. This is a fun record. This record was in my basement after my brother Dennis went to college. He left the debut, the first Van Halen album, and this in the basement. And I went through this thing so many times. This comes out in April of 82. Where Have All the Good Times Gone? It's a 4.5 out of 5 star song. It's a cover of a Kinks song. So they cover the Kinks a few times with Where Have All the Good Times Gone and You Really Got Me off the first record. 4.5 out of 5. Hang 'em High, the riff master, King Edward. Hang 'em High is killer, 4 out of 5. Cathedral is an instrumental. It's innovative. You know, we're getting into him using technology. 4.5 out of 5. Secrets. She gets crazy. Woman gets crazy. Oh, God, that's killer. 4 out of 5. The Intruder is an instrumental piece that goes into the song Pretty Woman. It's killer. Intruder's a 4. Pretty Woman's a 4.5 out of 5 for me. Some people hit this record because there's so many covers. You flip the album over, but the Marvin Gaye cover of Dancing in the Streets is so bouncy and fun and just high energy that it's better than the original. I love that song. 4.5 out of 5. 4.5 for the intro for Little Guitars. I have 4.75 for the song Little Guitars. I might even call it a 5. Little Guitars, the snare sound that Alex Van Halen gets on that song is so killer. Big Bad Bill is Sweet William Now. They go vaudeville here. You know, song written by Jack Yellen and Milton Egger. Listen to Big Bad Bill. You know, it's fun. I know it's not what Van Halen does best. But David Lee Roth's personality comes through on this album so much that they can pull off Big Bad Bill as Sweet William Now. Van Halen, Eddie and Alex's father, Jan Van Halen, plays horn on that song. The Full Bug. Not one of my favorites on this record, but I give it a 3.75. By the way, Big Bad Bill gets a 4. And then Happy Trails is another kind of country vaudevillian cover. Bum-ba-dee-da, bum-ba-dee-da, bum-ba-dee-da. Happy Trails. Dale Evans song. 3.75. Fun record. The next one is their last record. So David Lee Roth comes back to the band in 2006. They tour in 2007. And that tour is successful. They do another tour a couple years later, and then actually to tour this album in 2012. So this thing comes out in February 2012. I remember needing a David Lee Roth Van Halen album to come out in my adult life, right? Because I'm 12 when he leaves, 12 or 13 when he leaves. They make a huge mistake and release a single called Tattoo and a video. And it's the weakest song on the record. I think they think they're being cute. Similar to how Jump was the lead single on 84, and that was weaker than Panama. So, I mean, let's forget about Tattoo. It's a 3 out of 5. She's the Woman is freaking killer. 4.75 out of 5. Killer. You and Your Blues. It's hooky. It's got harmonies, but it's 3.5 out of 5. Chinatown is old school killer Van Halen. It's naughty. It's raunchy. It's dangerous. It's got fire. Chinatown is 4.5. Blood and Fire is 4.5. Killer. Bullethead is 4.5. Some days you're the dog and some days you're the hydrant. Killer. As Is, 4.75 out of 5. As is fucking killer. Alex and Eddie just killing it. Another 4.75, Honey Baby Sweetie Doll. It's brutal. Brutal and brilliant. The Trouble with Never is a 3.5. It's not as good. Out of Space is just amazing. It's dangerous again. Stay Frosty, Jonesy. Man, Stay Frosty is killer. It's kind of like Ice Cream Man. Okay, like that type of song from the first album. Stay Frosty. Oh, I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5. Big River, another 4.5. Hell yes, Raunch. And that beat's working. This is a killer album. Wolfgang Van Halen is the bass player now. Michael Anthony's gone. Wolfgang finds old Van Halen songs that were never fully completed, demos, and they take those demos from the 70s and write more than half of this album from those. Wolfgang Van Halen should get a production credit on this record. He's killer on this record. Powerful. He's an upgrade bass playing than Michael Anthony. And he can sing just as well as Michael Anthony. Alex is an animal on this. Wolfgang's the best bass playing on any record in this catalog. My next record is their fourth record, Fair Warning. Fair Warning comes out in April of 81, and it opens up with Mean Streets. Mean Streets is a 5 out of 5 star classic. The riff, the breath within this song. You are literally on those streets with David Lee Roth telling you, and it's listen to Mean Streets. Dirty Movies, 3.75, maybe a 4 song. The echo on the drums, right? Alex has that echo effect going on these drums. Another song, Sinner's Swing. It's weaker for me. I want to say it's one of the weaker songs in the David Lee Roth catalog. I know that's sacrilegious on Sinner's Swing, but hear about it later. 4 out of 5. Killer. Unchained is the first song on the second side. One break coming up. Chained. I mean, it is just the ultimate riff, the ultimate Van Halen song. I don't ask for permission. It's my chance to fly. I mean, maybe enough ain't enough for you. I mean, David Lee Roth's attitude on these early Van Halen records is everything. It's everything. Push comes to shove, weaker. 3 out of 5. That keeps this album down. So This Is Love. Great song. 3.25 out of 5. Sunday Afternoon in the Park. Synthesizers for the first time on a Van Halen album. Or on this song. Sunday Afternoon in the Park. 3.75. And then One Foot Out the Door. Van Halen's worst song maybe in the David Lee Roth era for me. Themes on this record: the mean streets, survival in the city, the rise of the underdog. David Lee Roth likes to sing about that underdog and how that underdog's going to overcome. And that underdog's going to end up being the man. Sex. Kicking some freaking ass and just nastiness. Ted Templeton, production is incredible here. My third favorite Van Halen album is the second record, Van Halen 2. This comes out in March of 79. You're No Good. Okay, it's a Clint Ballard Jr. cover. It's killer. The wailing sounds at the beginning of that song of You're No Good. 3.5 out of 5. Dance the Night Away. 4.5 out of 5. Somebody Give Me a Freaking Doctor. 5 out of 5 Van Halen classic. One of my top 10 favorite songs. We're going to do a top 10 show. By the way, subscribe to my channel. I'm Ryan Nolting. Subscribe to my channel, like my channel. I want to do this all the time, and I think we're having fun here. There's lots of new subscribers. I need to see the numbers come up, though. Let's get these numbers up. Liking this video, subscribing to the channel. Okay. Bottoms up. 4 out of 5. The drums, the harmonies. Out of Love Again. The echo on the drums again. David Lee Roth is so killer. 4 out of 5. Light Up the Sky. My notes say fucking raw power. Raw power. 4.5 out of 5. Spanish Fly is a gorgeous, gorgeous instrumental. Right? Eddie's got an instrumental on every album. It's so good. DOA, Dead or Alive, 4 out of 5. Spanish Fly, 4 out of 5. Woman in Love, the harmonies in the opening, 4 out of 5. And then Beautiful Girls, 5 out of 5 classic. So we have 2 5 out of 5s on this record. Somebody Give Me a Doctor and Beautiful Girls is so fun. Power and charm, right? That's what David Lee Roth's good at. Yeah, he can be brutally powerful, but he's charming. And he can sing a song like Beautiful Girls and get away with it because he's charming and he's David Lee Roth. He's swinging. Light Up the Sky is swinging, man. Man, I watched my television. Almost lost my mind. Killer harmonies from Michael Anthony and Eddie Van Halen on this record. Killer. My second favorite Van Halen record is Women and Children First. My brother Dennis loves this album. I call this the High School of Dreamers album, right? And the cradle will rock on a 5-star classic. I mean, just killer. Amazing intro. Back-to-back 5-star classic with Everybody Wants Some. I want some too. 5 out of 5. Fools. It's bluesy. It's raunchy. Again, the outsider. The outsider ends up winning. The underdog wins here. Romeo's Delight, 5 out of 5-star classic. It's straightforward. I'm taking whiskey to the party tonight, and I'm looking for somebody to squeeze. I mean, shit. You know, that's what I... Doesn't sound like a bad thing to do. Maybe tonight. Shit. Romeo's Delight. Staple live for that band. Listen to the song Romeo's Delight. Love it. Baby, Please, Can't Take It Anymore. The next song, you flip the album over, Tora Tora. Sabbath. I hear Black Sabbath in that. The intro, the 56-second intro is killer. Lost Control. By the way, Tora Tora is 4 out of 5. Lost Control, 4.25. I hear Pantera. I hear what becomes Pantera in that. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments if you don't hear Pantera there. Years before Pantera was getting together. Take Your Whiskey Home. Shit. Country blues explodes. 4.5 out of 5. It's killer. 0 filler. Could This Be Magic is the next song. 4.25. It's vaudevillian again. David's doing that vaudeville thing. Say what you want about David Lee Roth, and when he comes back in 07 and all the dancing and the glitter suits, you know what? You can't take your eyes off of him live. Was he as cool in 2015 as he was in 1977? In a different way. He's still a badass. He is the man entertainer. In a Simple Rhyme is the last song. At the 4-minute and 20-second mark of In a Simple Rhyme, they go into this heavy riff. God, I wish they would have expanded on that heavy riff. Shit, here's some other notes. What do we have here? I'm sick and tired of cleaning room. And it's the final bell for Pushing Broom. I mean, just killer off of Fools. Just killer album. Anyway, my favorite Van Halen album. And again, this was in my basement growing up. And I don't think it's a surprise to many. when you go down the list of Van Halen, and again, we talk about 5 out of 5-star classics on my show. A 3 is a good song. A 4 is a great song, and a 5 is the greatest song in somebody's catalog, one of the greatest songs of all time. For this album, I had to create a new category, and I want to explain what a 6 is. This album has 4 6s, 6 out of 5s. A 6 song is something that transcends the best of the best material in somebody's catalog. It also transcends a genre. It's a genre-creating song. You know, it Smells Like Teen Spirit a 6 because it transcended a genre and created a new genre. Let's talk about this record. Running with the Devil, 5 out of 5. The foghorn at the beginning. The riff, the drums. King Edward's debut song on a major label. The first song that we ever hear of him. Then the next song is a 6 out of 6. It's called Eruption. The song Eruption is an instrumental that welcomes in a new era of guitar playing. You know, you have your Jimi Hendrixes, you have your Eric Claptons, you have your Jimmy Pages. What he does here on Eruption changes the game. It's just unbelievable. They do a cover of You Really Got Me Now. It's just complete dominance. It's taking a cover song and making it so much better than the original. And the original's Killer by the Kinks, another Ray Davies song. But it's so much better here. The last song on the first side is another 6. Genre defining, right? I Am the One is so freaking powerful and killer I can't even talk about it anymore. Flip the album over. It starts out with 2 6s in a row. Jamie's Crying is freaking killer. Bow wow bow. Ask Tone Loc. On his song where he covers that riff. Jamie's Crying is a 6 out of 5. The Atomic Punk is a 6 out of 5, right? It's defining this new metal type of music that's melodic metal. It's not just brutal. It's metal with melodies that your girlfriend's gonna like too, right? This stadium is not gonna just be all dudes like a Rush concert or a Black Sabbath concert. The girlfriend wants to go. She wants to see Eddie. 6 out of 6 or 6 out of 5. Feel Your Love Tonight. Man, just killer. Just killer. I am the ruler of these Neverlords. Killer. That's on Atomic Punk, by the way. I am the ruler of these netherworlds. Shit. Feel Your Love Tonight. 4.5 out of 5. Little Dreamer. 5 out of 5 for me. Ice Cream Man. 5 out of 5. That's a cover of a John Brim song. The ride out on that, the instrumental section at the end of Ice Cream Man is so much freaking fun. It's shit. 5 out of 5 star. Listen to Ice Cream Man and then go back to the final album, A Different Kind of Truth, and listen to Stay Frosty. Tell me which one's better. Which one's better, Jonesy? On Fire is the last song. You know, I'm going to give it a 4.5, and I have an arrow to a 5. Attitude with a capital A. That's my only other note on this. It's attitude. It's attitude. It's dangerous and it's believable. Similar to the Guns N' Roses debut album for me. It's believable danger. Ted Templeton produces this. Ted Templeton produces most of the David Lee Roth albums other than the last one. Guys, that's my Van Halen ranking. We're going to do a top 10 Led Zeppelin songs next week. We're going to do a top 50 drummers next week. I got my new show, The Flow, coming out later today, which is The Week in Rock. We're going to do that every single week. Subscribe to my channel. It's Ryan Nolting. Subscribe and like. Give me some comments. Let me know if you're liking my channel, tell me what I'm doing wrong. Okay? And by the way, Thin Lizzy getting represented today. Peace out. Thanks.